All right, Coach Jay in the house again, my house, back for another edition and the last and final step. Step number 6 for your 6 steps to a six-pack ebook. This is the video portion explaining the movements. We're gonna go through 6 functional lifts. So the goal here, it's best if you have a gym. Now, if you don't have a gym, access to a gym, a full gym, then you can absolutely do these movements at home. The reason why they're called functional lifts is because they are functional, meaning these are the movements that you're going to do basically every day. So these everyday movements are gonna, number one, it's gonna help prevent injury. It's gonna, number 2, get you stronger, but at the same time, it's gonna recruit as many muscle fibers as we can to force that body to burn more calories, burn more fuel, and get you leaner and stronger. All right, so these are your fundamental functional movements that will help with all those other movements that we do. Any explosive movements, things like that. All right, so your first one is going to be squats. So this one I've got 6 by 6 reps. So what I want you to do is I want you to go 6 reps and then repeat for 6 sets. We're gonna stay with that same exercise though. So if you're doing squats first, you're gonna do 6 squats and you're gonna repeat for 6 times. Again, because we're only doing 6 reps, if you're at the gym, then you can absolutely add weight until you are struggling on that 5th or 6th rep. Now, if we are, because this is a COVID-19 at-home workout, what you're gonna do is we're just gonna double that. So we're gonna go to 12 reps. So now we're just gonna increase the volume of reps to build more muscle endurance at the same time while building strength. And then we're gonna go 6 sets again. So 12 reps, 6 sets. Now, I've got 6 functional exercises here. Before I go on, I would probably only choose 1 or 2, maybe 3 max to focus on per day, probably 2 actually. Before, I wouldn't do all 6 every day, all right? You want to kind of, because of the volume and because of the weight that you're using, I want those muscles to recover. Plus you've got your ab exercises at step 4, and then you've got your HIIT or your Metcon step 5, all right? So play around, you know your body, get at least 1 or 2 of these in. 1 is completely fine for your functional lifts. So in a perfect world, you're gonna do 1 of these functional lifts, you're gonna do 1 of the HIIT circuits, and then you're gonna do the ab exercise. And that is your daily routine. Get that in at least 3 times a week. You don't have to do it every day. All right, so let's take you through the movement. So your first one is going to be a squat. So without using any weight, I need you guys to get familiar with how to do a squat first. So you could do a back squat, you could do a front squat, you could do a dumbbell weighted squat, goblet squat here, totally up to you. However, for that squat, we're gonna start with our feet about shoulder width apart. Now everyone's hips, everyone's shoulders are gonna be different. Everyone's gonna look and feel different when they do it. So this is kind of the basic movement that I want you to do. So feet about hip width apart, shoulder width apart. You're gonna point your toes slightly outwards, not necessarily fully out, just slightly outwards, all right? So this is gonna kind of force the knees to kind of open up a little bit more, okay? As you squat down, as you sit down, so you're not leading with the knees because nobody sits down like this. We're actually gonna sit down with our hips and our butt. So your first movement's gonna be in the hips and your bum, and you're gonna kind of sit down. As you sit down or squat, you're gonna kind of open up those knees to allow for more room, to allow that bump to drop nice and low, okay? So you're gonna come down nice and low, keeping the weight in the heels to the midfoot, and then you're gonna come right back up, all right? I like to have my hands here as a target so that I'm kind of sticking that chest out and I'm not leaning forward like this, and I'm not squatting like this. So if you wanna create a little diamond shape, squat down, and then back up. Oh, okay. So that is a squat. For practice, physically use a chair, all right, or a low stool. You're gonna sit on it, then you're gonna stand up, okay? When you're ready, you're gonna add weight. So you could add weight here and do your squat. You could add weight here and do your squat. You could do 1 heavier dumbbell here and then do your squat, okay? 12 reps times 6 sets. If you're doing it at home. If you can go heavier, then we're only going 6. Take nice long breaks in between each of these sets. Next one, we've got a bench press. So, chest press. So, being at home, we might not have access to a bench. You can use a ball, You could use you could use the floor, totally up to you. So here, I'm gonna use the ball for actually I'm gonna use the floor for demonstrations. What you're gonna do here, we're gonna do a chest press. So here, elbows flat, so engage that core. I want you to drive the heels up, squeezing the glutes, and then you're just gonna do chest presses. We're gonna do 12. Notice how my elbows come and touch the floor each time to get full range of motion, and then a little tap at the top, coming in the middle. All right, that's your chest press. If you have a ball or a bench, you can kind of increase that range of motion. You're gonna rest your head and shoulders on the ball. You're gonna lift that bum up again, engaging that core. You can bring the elbows a little bit lower now, getting into a deeper stretch, recruiting more of those muscle fibers as well. All right, so chest press. Okay. If you don't have dumbbells, feel free to use a resistance band. So here, if you've got a resistance band, just gonna put this around that body. So here, you can do it standing, you can do it laying down, and then we're just gonna do a press. All right? So that's the second exercise of those functional lifts. So we went through squats, chest presses or bench press. Your third exercise is going to be deadlifts. So this one is probably the one that I see the most errors in. So what you want to do here is you want to imagine that you're actually shaving your legs. All right, so the deadlift is a great posterior chain core exercise. Posterior chain, I'm talking about getting your upper back, your lats, getting your lower back, getting your glutes, getting your hamstrings, getting a bit of the calves. All right. So our posterior chain is usually neglected for the most part, as we do a lot of push movements versus pull, and then we do focus on the front muscles more than we focus on the back. So this is great and very important to use, to incorporate. Again, you can use dumbbells, you can use a barbell, whatever you have. So simply, we're going to shave our legs. So feet again, shoulder width apart. Again, first movement is going to be in those hips. You want your brain, you want your bum to tell your brain that that is the boss. Your bum and your hips are in charge. So they're going to go back first. You're going to shave those legs until you come to about mid-shin. Notice how my back and my shoulders are back, chest sticking out, and we're going to come right back up. All right? So here. Be careful that you're not rounding the shoulders here like this, because then that will hurt your lower back. Get the chest out, shoulders back. Okay? Your gaze is going to be about like a 45-degree angle. I don't want you looking up. I don't want you looking down. Okay? Your eyes are just going to follow the movement, 45-degree there. Okay? If the dumbbells or the weight comes forward and away from your legs, you're going to feel that in your lower back. So that's why I say imagine shaving your legs. Slight bend in the knees, hinging from the hips, shoulders back. And once by you keeping the shoulders back, you're actually engaging those lats as you stand up. Okay? So dumbbell, try that. Barbell, again, you can use the resistance band again. This becomes more of a good morning. But if you have this and you only got one dumbbell, or if you have a med ball, you could do that deadlift the same way, just adding a little bit more resistance and changing where that resistance is coming from. But we're still going to focus on that back muscles and that posterior chain. All right. And then we've got pull-ups. So you can buy one of those chin-up pull-up machines at home. Easy. I've got rings set up here where I do my pull-ups. If you've got a lat pull-down machine, you could use that. If you don't have that, what you can do, okay, I'm going to show you how you can build that upper back strength and actually build the strength to do a free weight, body weight pull-up. So here, two versions. Version one, you're going to do your Superman, and then you're going to do your scap squeeze, so squeezing those shoulders like as if you were like pulling yourself up and then coming back down. All right, so here. You can add a light pair of dumbbells in your hands to do that. You can grab a towel, a t-shirt, a resistance band, and you can do that as well and pull. All right, pull underneath. Squeeze those shoulders. All right, you're gonna notice that that's gonna burn real quick because those muscles are neglected, but we're gonna target the muscles that are involved for that pull-up. We're gonna do 12 of those, okay? If you do have access to a gym and you can't do a pull-up, feel free to do jumping pull-ups, or jump and try to hold yourself up for 6 seconds and then let go. Jump, hold yourself up for 6 seconds, then let go, all right? Or jump, hold, and then go down. Make sure it takes you 6 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jump again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So a few different options on there and how to build that upper back muscles to get you to do that pull-up. Then we've got overhead presses. So here with a dumbbell or a barbell, you're just gonna press overhead. Again, in my previous video, we don't want to lean back. We don't want it so heavy that we're gonna lean back. We wanna tuck those ribs in and push overhead, keeping your abs and your core nice and engaged, okay? So here with the dumbbells, here, up to you. Just get comfortable with the movement. And again, if you've got shoulder impingements, be very careful. You wanna make sure you warm up those shoulders real good. So here, pressing overhead this way, you press overhead this way. You could add a little rotation to it if you want, pressing overhead. Okay, barbell works is fine. If you want to go to your knees to isolate the shoulders more, you can do your knees as well. Okay, so from that angle. So we want to go with an overhead press. Then finally, we've got a bent over row, barbell, dumbbell. If you've got a sandbag, a heavy backpack. And then this one, I want you to play around with the grip. We could go, a neutral grip, so palms facing each other, palms facing the back, supine grip, palms facing forward. By having your palms facing forward, we're gonna recruit a little bit more of the biceps as well when we do that bent over row. So that's when you can go a little bit heavier, okay? So again, we're gonna go 12 reps, 6 sets. Unless you're at the gym where you can really load up that bar, and then we're just gonna row for 6 and then rest. All right, 6 sets. So here, you're gonna again hinge from the hips. So similar to that deadlift, you're gonna hinge from the hips. Keyword here is bent over. As we get tired, a lot of human tendency is to kind of stand up and then row this way. That means we're taking everything away from the lower back and focusing more on those shoulders. By leaning forward, our core is engaged, our glutes are engaged. We're gonna drive up to our rib cage, squeeze those shoulder blades in the back, elbows up all the way. So grab those elbows all the way back, squeeze, squeeze. Again, play around with your grip. Okay. Up to you. But make sure that you are squeezing those shoulder blades. You're not using momentum to pull those dumbbells. Okay. So those are your 6 fundamental or functional movements. We've got squats, we got bench press, we got deadlifts, pull-ups, overhead presses, and bent over rows. Try that. Again, if you're at the gym, you want to max out at 6 reps. I want you to go heavy. Because we're working from home, we're going to double it. So we're going to work on the strength, but we're also going to work on endurance. We're going to go 12 reps, and we're going to repeat 6 times. So volume. Again, choose 1, maybe 2 of those exercises, and then you can work through it every day, each day. But don't do all 6 exercises every day. That's going to be a little too much. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks for getting the ebook. Coach Jay in the house. We'll see you soon.